Hi there, my dear machine learning entrepreneurs, how are you doing this whole universe? Hope that is fine. I'm a Rashman who brings follow through my own experience, and today we're discussing with you about robust clustering algorithms and their appliance and implementation into the MarTech, FinTech, and also in SportTech, well, which means sport technologies, also marketing technologies, and finance technologies. So let's take a look at clustering algorithms. What's a clustering actually? What's it? Actually, I mentioned that we have x-axis and y-axis, and we also have dots, points inside of our xy plane. And here we can find some points that are similar to each other, some of the kind of data that are grouped together. Also we have grouped here and also there and also there. And actually the process of making them grouping and making them into the clusters, it is the clustering. When we connect them into the sets, subsets, multisets, supersets, and etc. So we have one cluster, a second, third, fourth, and etc. It's actually clustering. And about robust clustering, what's it? Actually, I mentioned again x and y axis and xy axis plane. Axis is plane, and here's the dots here, and also we have some points here that are kind of exaggerated. I imagine that we have points here, yes, and also we have exaggerated data here, but some points, 3-4 points that are kind of out of main distribution, anomaly, and also outliers and data that is corrupting and making the main sets, if we calculate aggregation functions, not really nice. Actually, it is that we need to delete, eliminate, remove, and decrease the influence of it, and everything will be fine. It is robust clustering when we we have the data here, and we have some data that is exaggerated, kind of out of main distribution, deviated, and then we can delete it, remove it, and eliminate it from annihilate it from our main data set, and then we can do clustering of the main data and we can calculate aggregation functions. What does it mean actually for our aggregation functions? How can they help a robust clustering? How can robust clustering algorithms help to our aggregation functions calculations? Actually, I mentioned that we have here's the dots. Actually, it is the set. We have kind of circle or maybe the sphere of dots. It all depends on how many axes, how many dimensions do you have, for example, x, y, z dimensions or etc. Actually, I mentioned that we have data here and we have data here, yes? And when we calculate, I mentioned that we removed it actually. Right now, only data is here, yes, some dots here, and that's all. And calculate the center of the cluster right now. Aggregation function of calculating the center of the cluster. Here's the center will be. Okay, amazing, fine. It is kind of the center, the geometry center of our data. And next, I imagine that we have the dots here. Yes, also exaggerated data that is kind of super deviated and out of main distribution of data. And then when we calculate the aggregation function of finding centroids, then the data could be of the centroid, the value of the centroid will be a little bit switched to this point. And I imagine that we have data here, and actually the center is here. It's not true. So we need to delete it or decrease the influence, and then the center will be in the correct point. Which means for us a lot if we talk about SportTech, FinTech, MarTech, and other directions, EdTech, EduTech, education technologies, advertisement technologies, and also agriculture the technologies and different types of property technology, prop tech about real estate agents and things of this nature. And actually, when we talk about this, then when we talk about robust clustering, it is all about outliers and also these sets. Actually, it is all about preciseness. It's all about accuracy. It's all about how to make it more strong, powerful, nice, good, and kind of out of noise that we could have in our data. So we work with the data, statistical data, and everything gets fine in terms of the calculating aggregation functions. So let's find out right now how to apply it to the directions of SportTech, MarTech, and FinTech. Let's start from the SportTech. When we have athletes, we have ultra triathletes, also triathletes, and also marathoners, ultra marathoners, and different types of people who are running long distances, middle distances, and other distances. So we can calculate the data from their performance. Actually, we can find the performance data here and also here, something, and some data that is maybe falling, or maybe data that is kind of not really nice in this period of time that we found. For example, we found the data, we gathered the data from 1 year, and from 1 year maybe some of the falling, or maybe some of the data that is not really nice to our distribution, it is kind of not really nice to us to use. It is not the cluster, it is points that are not doing nice job for our main distribution. It is corrupting our things that we have. So we can delete it, and everything will be calculated fine. In terms of the finding to predict the results of our athletes without taking super mega risks. I imagine that is super mega risks, not the risks that are kind of evaluated and kind of okay, it's fine, but it is super high risks that we have, and actually we can delete it, because when we predict something, it is we apply everything to the main things, to the strongest, to the more predictable things to find. So it is one of the things. Also, in terms of the biomechanics of solus, gastrocnemius, also abdominis rectus, and also about our brachii, and also latissimus dorsi, and and deltoids and trapezoids muscles. In terms of this, you can find pos.x, pos.y, pos.z, vel.x, vel.y, vel.z, ac.x, ac.y, ac.z. Actually means for us, it could be float, pos.x, float, pos.y, float, pos.z, float, vel.x, float, vel.y, float, vel.z, float, float, acc.x, float, acc.y, float, acc.z, which means for us position, velocity, and acceleration in terms of the movements, different points of our body that moves different muscles, tendons, ligaments, and we can calculate the movements of them, and also different types of mitochondria if you want. It is all about cellular data right now, will be, but actually we talk right now about biomechanics in terms of the kind of muscles, tendons, and ligaments, and joints, and bones. Sometimes we can calculate too, and actually through the movements we can find something, predict something in terms of the more accurate, more precise. We can find the movements, and imagine that we have the movement of this or this. Is it different? I imagine here and a little bit here. Actually, for us, sometimes as a viewer, as a pop culture viewer, for example, it will not be super important to find the center here or there. Actually, it is not super important for us. But in terms of the results, in terms of the accuracy, I imagine that it will be for the auto driverless car or something like this, that we have auto driver and driverless car, and it moves, and I imagine that a little bit switch to the right could be the kind of accident in terms of the incident. It could be something that your car will be crushed to something, and it is kind of not really nice result. It is maybe bad result that we can get. Actually need to go to this straight line and everything will be fine. The same with biomechanics of our arms, legs, and etc. So you can prevent injuries if so you could be injury free from it. So it is why we need a robust clustering to make it strong, to make it powerful, and etc. Also, from the perspective of data, we talked about running data and timing data and things of this nature, also biomechanics, and right now we can switch to the data of the visual representation. I imagine that we have two colors, so we have orange color of this, orange color, and also orange color of this. Actually, it is orange colors. Actually, it means it looks even more to the yellow color. But okay, and we calculate the data from this, and when we measure something from the OpenCV library, from the computer vision library, then we can find some data that is kind of, I imagine that we have the detected data from the visual representation of our movements. And for example, one athlete is running, and here is the finish line, and another athlete too running. For example, it's sprinters, and we have 60 meters or 100 meters, 200 meters, 400 meters run, and then we can find the data that of the crossing the finish line. And here is the timing of small amount of milliseconds that we can calculate from it. And when we calculate milliseconds from it, then we need to represent it through the video form, and then we kind of see this, that we are actually crossing the line, and some of the colors, some of the pixels could mean to us a lot, because I imagine that we have pixel here and pixel here. And they are kind of in different colors, and the more precise color will be, the more detection we can find from it. So everything will be fine, and everything will be detected correctly. So it is about our visual representation, that we, for example, crossing the finish line, or maybe we have the data from the SportTech from another industries, so we can maybe have a fight, or boxing, kickboxing, taekwondo, or something like this, and we can find the data from the punch, or the kick, or jab, right hook, or something like this, and we can find the data that it was correct or incorrect in terms of the visual representation, in terms of the RGB, RGBA, HSL, HC8, HSV, HSB, CMY, CMYK model color models schemes that we have. Okay, it was about our SportTech industry. About marketing industry, we can do this through the word-to-vec and doc-to-vec. Word-to-vec and doc-to-vec data, and also geospatial data. Geospatial data we can find also in the area of geospatial data we can find in the area of SportTech too, because if we will look at the race road, for example, marathon or half marathon or 10k or 5k races, then we can find through the view on top, through the top to the bottom, and we can look at the people who are running, and we can find clusters too. And here is the same with marketing technologies, when we can find geospatial data from the people who are going to the store, to the shops, to the different types of places, bookstores, for example, or libraries, and we can kind of find out what is the main roads that they are walking, and the more repetitive we will take, and some of the outliers, some of the people who are walking as a snake, we can for example delete or remove this data about this, because it could corrupt our main data, and it is not really nice for our main distribution that we calculate aggregation functions. So next, it is about this data, geospatial data, and also we have the data from the geospatial, and also word-to-vec, doc-to-vec. It means we have a vector representation of our words in terms of the numbers, in terms of the collection of numbers, in terms of the how we can look at this through the machine learning kind of view, perspective, prism, and things of this nature. And we can look at the data of the words that people are saying about the product, about different types of books, for example, or movies, or maybe some of the creations, some of the creative works that we have, and they could say something, and we can kind of calculate from the main data the most repetitive things, and to find the center of clusters here, actually it will be midoid, because in terms of the words it is kind of hard to find the centroid. It will be easier to find the midoid, but sometimes midoid could be found through the centroids, because centroids is here, and data that is represented in data set could be here, and actually midoid will be found through the centroid, and this how we can find through the aggregation functions. And in terms of the word, words, and words it is meaningful too, because I imagine that you have midweight here, or we can find midweight here. Actually, it is a big difference when we calculate the midweight correctly, and the word that will be the most valuable to the people in terms of the, for example, you are creating Bert, Robert, Albert, Disalbert, Transformer, Excel, XLNet, VAT, DTR, GPT, GPT2, GPT3, GPT3.5, GPT4, Open Assistant, Chat GPT, and different types of general pre-trained transformers, T5, or maybe Lava, or etc., Llama, and etc. And you can create them, and through the perspective of it, actually, you can create different types of doc-to-vec, doc-to-vec, word-to-vec transformers, and you can find the aggregation functions that are found in the center, and through the center you can find more precise, accurate answer that this machine could say to you that yes, it is how we do this. For example, we have words flame, inferno, or fire, and what will be the more correct to use in this correct situation, in this precise situation? Flame or fire or inferno? What will be the most correctful? If it will be inferno, maybe inferno is not like a flame, and flame is not like a fire. Fire is not like inferno. And it is kind of more precise word that we can use. It is in MarTech. In FinTech, the same, about what people say about different types of cryptocurrencies, for example, crypto market, and different types of bitcoins, litecoins, and also Ethereum and things of this nature, cryptocurrency, and finance. Actually, it is all about analyzing different types of time data, time series, and in this situation, you can find the most repetitive patterns that you have, and then you found them, and you eliminate all the kind of main distribution data, outliers, anomalies. Anomalies sometimes could be here in finance mathematics. It could be kind of useful because you can use the data here and kind of to think that maybe this new way to investment, and actually you can delete it in terms of if it is not really nice anomaly, in terms of it is bad anomaly, because we have good anomalies, we have bad anomalies. Good, it means for us nice, and bad anomalies, actually it is something that we could delete, and we don't need this anomaly. Actually, it is kind of philosophical question of what we can say that is good, what is bad. Actually, it is ethical question to the saying what anomaly is a nice thing and what anomaly is a not nice thing in terms of the kind of ethics, in terms of the kind of finance ethics, if we will kind of dive into this. So you can find three directions right now: SportTech, FinTech, and also MarTech. And we found out that robust clustering helps to us to increase the accuracy and preciseness of our aggregation functions that we calculate. You can apply it into the different types of spheres. You can use it on Kaggle, for example, and you can do import numpy, snp, import pandas, spd, import tensorflow, stf, import seaborn, ssns, import matplotlib.pyplot, splt, import sys, import os, import pymc, and etc. And actually then you do for loops, while loops, do while loops, sometimes not, and actually it is all about right now algorithms that we will use and different types of methods that we apply, and actually it is all about work then next. Right now we have some theoretical and actually a little bit practical, because the more we do the thinking process about it, the better you can kind of visualize what you will get, and you can go forward with a better speed, with a better acceleration, and kind of you can apply it to your direction. Right now I do writing my PhD thesis about these topics too, a little bit kind of it is not fully about this, but kind of intersecting this area of what I talk about. So thank you a lot for watching this video, hope you enjoyed. See you next time in Professor Daily. You are a nice guy or girl, you're a nice machine learning engineer and a machine learning entrepreneur, and see ya in the next time. See ya, have a good day in Professor Daily. Go forward.